Have you ever wondered why money seems to find certain people effortlessly, while others struggle endlessly no matter how hard they try? It often appears almost mystical, as if some individuals possess a secret magnetism for wealth, drawing in opportunities and abundance with ease. Meanwhile, those who toil and stress may find themselves running in place, wondering what unseen force blocks the flow of prosperity. In truth, there are hidden laws of wealth at work beneath the surface of everyday life. These laws are not taught in school or spoken of in ordinary conversations, yet they influence who prospers and who doesn't. They are energetic and psychological principles, subtle forces of mindset, emotion, and spirit that determine how freely money and success move toward us. The good news is, once you become aware of these hidden laws, you can learn to work with them. You can align your inner world with the flow of abundance so that wealth finds you more easily too. By the end of this audio journey, you will have a deep understanding of these hidden laws of wealth and how to embody them. You will know how to transform the beliefs, emotions, and vibrations you carry around money. You'll discover spiritual principles like the law of attraction, the idea that like attracts like, and concepts of energy, frequency, and divine timing. You'll also uncover psychological insights into your subconscious beliefs, your sense of self-worth, and the emotional tone you broadcast to the world. Blending the spiritual and the practical, these understandings will help you open the gates for prosperity to flow into your life. This book is designed to be calming and meditative, a gentle companion as you relax or drift off to sleep. You don't need to effort or strain to absorb the wisdom here. Simply listen softly. Let the words wash over you and sink into your deeper mind. Even if you find yourself becoming drowsy, trust that your subconscious is still hearing these positive messages. In a way, this relaxed state lets the lessons reach the parts of you where real transformation happens beneath the surface of conscious thought. So find a comfortable position. You might close your eyes and take a slow, soothing breath. Allow yourself to let go of any tension you're holding. As you exhale, imagine any worries about money or the day's concerns flowing out and away. Now, picture that you are about to step into a gentle current, a stream of knowledge and insight that will carry you toward greater abundance. Each chapter of this journey will reveal a new hidden law of wealth, and with each insight you will feel yourself opening up more to prosperity. Remember, there is no rush. The hidden laws of wealth work quietly and steadily, like the turning of the seasons or the rising of the sun. As you listen, you may notice subtle shifts, perhaps a feeling of hope blooming, or a sense of peace around money where there used to be fear. These are signs that the energetic currents are beginning to move within you. By simply relaxing and listening, you are already aligning with abundance. Now, let us begin our exploration. Our first stop on this journey is understanding the nature of wealth not as a hard, material struggle, but as energy and vibration that we can tune into. Chapter 1. Everything is energy, the hidden nature of wealth. Imagine for a moment that money isn't just coins, paper, or numbers on a screen. Imagine that money is a form of energy, like electricity or radio waves, unseen yet very real. In fact, modern physics tells us that everything in the universe at its core is made of energy vibrating at different frequencies. A famous inventor, Nikola Tesla, once said that to understand the secrets of the universe, we should think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Wealth is no exception. The money, opportunities, and resources flowing into your life are responding to invisible signals, the energy you broadcast through your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Think of yourself as a radio station transmitting a signal. When you feel confident, grateful, and open, you are emitting a high-frequency signal of abundance. Opportunities that match that high vibe, like lucrative ideas, helpful people, or financial blessings, tune into your signal and find their way to you. It's as if wealth is a radio channel, and you have set your dial to the right frequency to receive it. On the other hand, when you feel fear, lack, or desperation about money, it's like sending out a static-filled or low-frequency signal. Even if an opportunity is near, it might pass by unheard, not recognizing your station. This is one reason money finds some people and not others. It follows the clearest, strongest signals of abundance. Another way to picture this is to imagine a pair of tuning forks. If you strike one tuning fork, the vibrations will naturally cause a second tuning fork of the same frequency to start humming in resonance. Our inner state works much the same way. Like attracts like. If your inner state is resonating with gratitude and plenty, you'll tend to attract experiences of gratitude and plenty. If, however, your dominant thoughts are, "there's never enough," or "I can't afford things," that's the vibration you continuously send out, and life will echo it back to you with more situations that feel like scarcity. Consider the people who seem lucky with money. Often, if you observe their attitude, they carry an easy confidence about prosperity. They expect things to work out. They aren't constantly worrying about bills or pinching pennies, not because they're careless, but because on some level they trust the flow of money. Consciously or not, they treat money as a friend, as a welcome guest, and so money shows up for them in return. Their energetic stance is open and inviting rather than anxious or doubtful. Money, sensing a friendly home, gravitates toward them. Meanwhile, someone who is always stressed about money might inadvertently be keeping it at arm's length. Worry is a low vibration state, and it can act like a repellent force. Have you ever noticed that when you're very anxious about finances, unexpected expenses seem to pop up? But when you feel at ease and grateful for what you have, somehow you make it through and sometimes even receive windfalls. That isn't mere coincidence, it's energy in motion. The hidden law here is that money is energy, and it flows toward balance, harmony, and positive expectation. Now, recognizing that wealth responds to energy doesn't mean you can snap your fingers and gold falls from the sky. Physical action and practical steps have their place, and we will discuss inspired action in a later chapter. But it does mean that your inner alignment sets the stage for what you attract. When you align your mindset and emotions with the essence of abundance, you essentially unlock the gate for money to enter your life. Think of it as turning the knob on a faucet. The water, money, is ready to flow, but you need to open the channel. Your energetic alignment is what opens that channel. Let's do a gentle exercise to start aligning your energy with abundance. Take a slow, deep breath in and let it out with a sigh. As you breathe, imagine that you are breathing in a warm, golden light. See this golden light as the energy of abundance. It enters through the air and fills your body, lighting you up from the inside. On each inhale, this golden energy grows brighter in your chest. On each exhale, imagine you are releasing any darkness of lack or worry, just letting it go like a grey cloud dissolving. Now, in your mind's eye, picture a source of wealth that makes you feel happy. It could be a field of wildflowers turning into money as you pick them, or an ocean wave that washes jewels onto the shore at your feet, or perhaps a friendly glowing orb that grows larger every time you appreciate it. There's no right or wrong image. Choose anything that symbolizes unlimited abundance for you. Allow yourself to smile at this image. Notice how light and positive you feel as you engage with this visualization. You are tuning your frequency to match the feeling of wealth. Stay with that feeling for a moment. Gently affirm to yourself, either silently or out loud, "Money is a form of energy, and I am in harmony with it. I welcome wealth as easily as I welcome the warmth of the sun." You might feel a subtle tingling or a soft sense of relief as you say this. You're essentially telling the universe, and more importantly, telling your own subconscious mind, that you are open to money and it's safe to let it in. As we conclude this first chapter, let the idea sink in that wealth is not a struggle. It's a current that you can tap into by how you think and feel. You don't have to chase money relentlessly. Begin by nurturing an inner atmosphere of abundance. Treat your thoughts and feelings as the first coins of your fortune, because they truly are. In the coming chapters, we will build on this foundation, showing you how your beliefs, identity, and actions can further amplify your ability to attract prosperity. For now, simply remember, at its core, money is energy, and you are learning to dance with that energy in a positive, uplifting way. Chapter 2. Belief. Shaping your wealth from the inside out. If money is energy, then our beliefs are the blueprint that tell that energy where to flow and how to shape itself in our lives. In other words, what you deeply believe about wealth and about yourself acts like an invisible script guiding your financial reality. This hidden law of wealth is simple yet profound. Your outer world will tend to reflect the story you consistently tell yourself on the inside. Change the story, and you change what shows up. From early childhood, we all absorb beliefs about money. We gather them from our parents, from society, from our experiences. Some of these beliefs are empowering, while others quietly limit us. Take a moment to reflect on what you heard or observed about money growing up. Were you taught that money is the root of all evil, or that money doesn't grow on trees? Did you get the message that wealthy people must have done something greedy or dishonest to get their money? Or perhaps you saw your family struggle, and you picked up the belief that life is always an uphill battle financially. These impressions sink deep. Over time, they solidify into the beliefs sitting in our subconscious mind, and the subconscious is tremendously powerful in creating our experiences. As one sage of prosperity, Florence Scovel Shinn, wrote, "Man can only receive what he sees himself receiving." If deep down you don't believe you deserve more than a modest income, you'll somehow always stop yourself from getting more, even if opportunities arise. If you win money or get a great job, something might happen to bring you back down to the level you secretly think you're worth. On the other hand, if you build an unshakable belief that you are meant to live in comfort and plenty, you'll find ways to make it so. You'll seize chances, persist longer, and even the universe seems to open doors for you. Beliefs are like the soil in which the seeds of your financial intentions are planted. Rich, fertile belief soil grows strong, healthy results. Rocky, barren belief soil struggles to sprout anything. The wonderful thing is that no matter what beliefs you inherited or have held until now, you can cultivate and change them. The soil of the mind can be enriched at any time with new positive ideas and understandings. You are never stuck with the beliefs you currently have. Let's illustrate the power of belief with a brief story. Imagine two friends, Alice and Ben, who start a business together offering the same service. Alice, in her heart, believes, "We provide real value and people are happy to pay well for it." Ben, however, carries a quiet doubt. "I'm not sure if what we offer is really worth much. People probably won't want to spend money on it." They might not even speak these thoughts aloud, but the beliefs are there. When they interact with clients, who do you suppose exudes confidence in their pricing and service? Alice likely comes across as assured and enthusiastic about the benefits, while Ben, despite trying his best, may unconsciously signal uncertainty or undervalue their work. Over time, Alice's belief will attract generous, satisfied customers and profits will grow. Ben's belief might lead to clients nickel and diming or walking away, confirming his expectation of people don't want to pay. They started in the same place, but their inner blueprints led them to different outcomes. Now, how do we change a limiting belief into one that supports wealth? The first step is gentle awareness. Simply notice without judgment what your common thoughts about money are. You might even write them down. For example, "I never have enough money," or "I have to work ridiculously hard for money," or "I'm just not one of those lucky rich people." See these statements as old scripts, like outdated software running in the background. They are not ultimate truths, they are just programs that can be updated. After awareness comes the introduction of a new belief. This is where affirmation and repetition come in. Just as a drop of water falling on the same spot can eventually wear a new groove in a rock, a positive statement, repeated with feeling, can carve a new neural pathway in your brain and imprint a new belief in your subconscious. For instance, take the negative belief, "I never have enough money." You might replace it with, "Money flows to me easily and I always have more than enough." At first, your old belief will resist. It feels like a lie or wishful thinking. That's okay. You don't need to force yourself to instantly believe the new thought. You just need to start planting it. Think of this like planting a seed in the dark soil. You water it by repeating the affirmation, by envisioning what it would be like if it were true, and by acting as if it's true even before you see proof. This is how all beliefs are built, through repetition and emotional intensity. In fact, one well-known success teacher, Napoleon Hill, observed that any order given to the subconscious mind with belief and emotion will eventually be accepted and acted upon. So when you say, "I always have more than enough money," say it with a little feeling, perhaps recalling a time you did have enough, or imagining the relief and joy if that were currently true. This emotional element is like sunshine and fertilizer for your new belief seed. Be patient with yourself in this process. Changing beliefs is a gradual realignment. But each time you choose an empowering thought over a limiting one, you are shifting the trajectory of your financial future. Even if it feels awkward at first, every affirmation, every moment spent visualizing abundance, every time you catch and correct a self-defeating thought, you are rewiring the hidden architecture of your mind for wealth. Let's do a brief practice right now. Close your eyes if you haven't, and take a calming breath. Bring to mind one limiting belief about money that bothers you. Maybe it's, "I'll never get out of debt," or "I'm just not good with money." Whatever pops up first is fine. Now, as if you were a loving teacher, gently take that belief and set it aside. You might imagine picking up a book with that old belief written in it and placing it on a shelf. You're not fighting it or hating it. You're simply acknowledging it's an old story, and you're ready to read a new story. Now, speak a new belief to replace it. For example, set aside "I'll never get out of debt" and replace it with "Each day I am drawing in more abundance and my finances are healing." Set aside "I'm not good with money" and replace it with "I am learning and growing better with money every day. I deserve to prosper." Choose wording that feels positive and encouraging. You don't have to force absolute confidence behind it right now. Just let it be a possibility that you are willing to entertain. Say the new belief slowly, maybe 3 times. Visualize it as true, even if your logical mind interjects. For a moment, pretend, with the playfulness of a child imagining a grand scenario, that this new belief is your reality. Notice how you feel after affirming this. Even a slight uplift or a lighter feeling in your body means you have opened a tiny window in a formerly closed room. If you felt resistance or disbelief, that's okay too. You still made a crack in the old structure. With practice, that crack will widen and let in more and more light. Belief is powerful. When you change your beliefs, it's like changing the blueprint of a building mid-construction. Eventually, the outer construction must adjust to match the new plan. Give yourself permission to believe in bigger, better outcomes with money. And if direct belief feels too hard at times, use the bridge of possibility. Tell yourself, "It's possible for me to become wealthy. It's possible for me to thrive financially." Even opening that door of possibility will invite the forces of life to support and prove your new outlook. You are the author of your inner story about money. In this chapter, you've begun to edit that script consciously. As we continue, you'll gather more tools and evidence to support these new empowering beliefs. For now, congratulate yourself for being willing to look within. This courage to examine and change your mindset is itself a magnet for positive change. Chapter 3: Clarity of Intention, Knowing What You Want. One of the hidden laws of wealth is startlingly straightforward. You attract what you are clear about. Clarity of intention acts like a guiding star or a laser beam, focusing the creative energies of the universe on a specific target. When you know what you want, truly and clearly, you give a clear instruction to your mind and to life itself. But when your desires are vague or conflicted, the results you get tend to be haphazard as well. Think of ordering a meal at a restaurant. If you simply tell the waiter, "Bring me some food," you have no idea what will arrive. You're leaving it to chance and you might get something you don't even like. But if you confidently say, "I'd like the garden salad with the dressing on the side, please," then the kitchen can fulfill your request accurately. Similarly, many people send out very mixed or undefined requests when it comes to wealth. They might vaguely think, "I want more money," but haven't defined how much or for what purpose. Or part of them wants prosperity, but another part fears the changes it might bring. So the signal they send is muddy. The universe, or your subconscious mind, which orchestrates much of your reality, responds to clear, confident instructions. So ask yourself, what does wealth mean to me? What would a life of prosperity look and feel like specifically? For one person, wealth might mean a beautiful home by the ocean, a thriving business, and the ability to travel the world freely. For another, it could mean having a simple, debt-free life in a cozy cottage with a garden and plenty of time to spend with loved ones. There is no right or wrong answer, only what rings true for you. The more authentic and specific your vision, the more power it has. It's important to focus on the essence of what you want rather than just a single rigid path. For instance, you might say, "I intend to earn $10,000 extra this year through a fulfilling and enjoyable source." That's clear, and it leaves room for various avenues: a promotion, a side project, a new client, etc., to satisfy the intention. If instead someone says, "I want to win the lottery," that's a very narrow channel and one mostly left to pure chance. Beneath that wish might be a deeper desire: "I want financial freedom and excitement in my life." That essence can be fulfilled in many ways, not just the lottery. Clarity is about knowing the what and why. Let the how have some flexibility, which we'll address more when we talk about surrendering and trusting the process. Let's illustrate clarity with a short tale. There was once a young man named Daniel who dreamed of success but wasn't sure what form it should take. He tried a bit of everything. He started making videos online, dabbled in sales, thought about writing a book, but nothing really took off. His energy was scattered like seeds thrown in the wind, landing everywhere but never taking root. One day, Daniel met a mentor who asked him pointedly, "What do you truly want to accomplish? What sets your heart on fire?" After some soul-searching, Daniel realized that what he loved most was baking, and that he had a vision of owning a bakery cafe that could become a beloved community spot. Once that clicked, he wrote down a plan: the kind of bakery, the atmosphere, even the income he hoped it would generate. He imagined customers smiling as they bit into his pastries, the cozy decor, the smell of fresh bread every morning. For the first time, his goal felt tangible and exciting. Within days of clarifying this, he met an acquaintance who mentioned a small commercial space for rent, perfect for a bakery. Because Daniel's mind was now tuned to that specific goal, he noticed the opportunity and seized it. Fast forward, Daniel's cafe thrives. He often reflects on how things started moving almost magically after he got clear on what he really wanted. This story mirrors a hidden dynamic. The moment you articulate a clear intention, you activate a series of events. Your perception sharpens to notice relevant opportunities, things that were likely around you before but unseen in the haze of indecision, and you also send a potent signal outward. Some call it speaking it into existence. It's as though the universe says, "Ah, so that's what you want. Let me help you with that. You can harness this power of clarity right now. We'll do a visualization exercise to crystallize your personal vision of wealth. Get comfortable and let your imagination engage fully. Suppose that overnight, all your financial wishes have come true in the best possible way. You wake up tomorrow and find that you are living your ideal, abundant life. What's the first thing you notice? Perhaps you wake up in a beautiful bedroom. Describe it to yourself. The sheets, the view, the feeling in the air. You look at your phone or a letter and see a bank balance that delights you. How much is it? Don't be shy. This is your dream. You prepare for your day. What will you do? Maybe you are going to your dream job or business that you absolutely love. Maybe you're going to spend the day volunteering or creating art because money is no longer a worry. Hear the sounds around you in this vision. Maybe the ocean waves if you're by the beach, or the happy chatter of family at the breakfast table. How do you feel in this scenario? Safe, excited, generous, free. Take a few moments to mentally walk through a day in this ideal, wealthy life. The more details you give it, color, sound, texture, and most importantly, positive emotion, the more real and magnetic it becomes. Smile in your vision and feel the gratitude of living in this reality. This clarity, painted in the language of the heart and mind, is like writing a blueprint for the universe. While you hold this vision, silently affirm, I know what I want, and I welcome it into my life. You might even say your specific desires. I welcome a yearly income of hour, or I welcome the home of my dreams by the lake, or I welcome the freedom to travel 3 times a year. Whatever it is, state it with confidence and kindness to yourself. You are not demanding or begging. You are calmly claiming what is right for you. As you open your eyes, if they were closed, know that this exercise of clarity is not a one-time event. It's something you can revisit often. In fact, truly prosperous people often have a habit of visualizing and writing down their goals regularly. Each time you do it, you sharpen that signal of what you want and align your actions towards it. Be clear also that wealth is not just about money in isolation. It often helps to clarify why you desire the money. What will it bring? Perhaps freedom, security for your family, experiences, the ability to help others, creative expression. Include those elements in your vision. They give richness to your goals and ensure that when you reach them, they feel fulfilling, not hollow. By clearly knowing your what and your heartfelt why, you activate one of the most powerful laws of the mind. A focused mind is like a focused beam of light. It can cut through obstacles that diffuse half-hearted interest never could. Clarity sets everything into motion. With your intentions now shining more brightly, let's move forward to the next hidden law, the role of faith and the subconscious in turning these intentions into reality. Chapter 4, Faith and the Subconscious, Believing Before Seeing. Clarity of desire sets the destination, but faith is what fuels your journey toward wealth. Faith is a deep, inner knowing or trust that what you seek not only can happen, but in a sense has already started to form in the unseen and will eventually materialize. It's the conviction that even if you don't yet see the money or the success, it is on its way and you are deserving of it. This inner certainty is a formidable force. When you truly believe in your success, it tends to come to you with uncanny timing and means. The subconscious mind plays a key role here. Think of the subconscious as the part of you below the surface, like the vast part of an iceberg under the ocean. It quietly influences your habits, your perceptions, and what you magnetize into your life. The subconscious doesn't differentiate between pretend and real in the way our conscious mind does. If you repeatedly feed it thoughts and images with strong emotion, it accepts them as your reality and then goes to work making them true, influencing your actions and even tuning into opportunities around you. This is why having faith, essentially a confident feeling that your goals will be achieved, is so critical. It impresses the right images onto your subconscious. There's an old saying, "Believe and you shall receive." Countless teachers of success have echoed this in different words. Napoleon Hill, whom we mentioned earlier, noted that faith mixed with desire is a potent combination that the subconscious mind uses to turn our thoughts into reality. Another teacher, Neville Goddard, taught the law of assumption. You must assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. In other words, live inwardly as though you already have what you want, and this assumption will harden into fact. All of these teachings encourage one thing: belief before evidence. It's like planting an apple seed and already tasting the sweetness of the fruit in your mind, trusting that in time the apple tree will grow and yield its bounty. Yet, faith can be challenging. Our rational mind is used to reacting to what it sees in the moment. If the bank account is low right now, it wants to worry or feel defeated. But what if you could look at the empty bank account and say, "This is just a temporary picture. I know it's changing because I am changing my mindset and actions." That kind of thought is a choice to see beyond the immediate appearance. It's not denial, it's declaring sovereignty over your future. Consider the story of Amina, a humble seamstress in a small village. Amina struggled to make ends meet, often feeling that her life would always be meager. One day she came across an old book that spoke of the power of affirmations and faith. It felt silly to her, but she was desperate enough to try. Each morning she lit a candle and affirmed, "Opportunities are coming to me. I am worthy of abundance. Thank you, universe, for prospering me." While saying these words, she did her best to conjure the feeling of them being true, imagining what it would feel like to have more than enough. Weeks passed with no visible change. Doubt whispered to her that she was being foolish, but a quieter voice in her heart urged her to continue just a little longer, to trust just a bit more. Then, one afternoon, a travelling merchant knocked on her door, having heard from a neighbour that Amina was a skilled seamstress. He offered her a contract to sew garments for his trade caravan, an opportunity that would more than double her income. Amina realized this was exactly the kind of opportunity she had been affirming. Later, more orders came as her reputation grew. She remembered how close she had been to giving up and smiled with gratitude that she held faith. In her candlelit affirmations, she had essentially convinced her subconscious to expect opportunity, and thus she acted with a hopeful demeanor, which probably made that merchant more inclined to hire her. Faith had been the bridge from her intentions to her new reality. Now let's discuss some practical ways to cultivate faith and engage your subconscious in your wealth journey. affirmations, and autosuggestion. Choose a few statements that encapsulate the financial reality you want to create, and repeat them regularly with conviction. For example, "I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing amounts from multiple sources on a continuous basis." This is a popular affirmation, often cited by Bob Proctor, to program the mind for abundance. You might also use simpler ones like, "I deserve and welcome abundance in my life," or "Every day, in every way, I am getting wealthier and wealthier." The key is not the specific words, but the feeling of certainty and gratitude you inject into them. You can repeat affirmations in the morning, or write them down, or even softly say them as you fall asleep, a powerful time to influence the subconscious. Over time, these words sculpt your beliefs. They become the default thoughts that pop up, replacing thoughts of fear or limitation. Visualization with feeling. We did a detailed visualization for clarity in the last chapter. Use that same vision to bolster your faith. Regularly revisit your mental movie of the life you desire. But here's an extra tip. Imbue it with the feeling of already being real. When you visualize having a thriving bank account, allow yourself to feel the relief and joy as if you were looking at those numbers right now. When you imagine handing a check to pay off your debts or making a large donation to a cause, feel the pride and happiness in that moment. Essentially, try on the emotions of the wish fulfilled. This tricks the subconscious a bit. It thinks, this is our reality now, and begins aligning your inner and outer world accordingly. So strengthens your faith because each time you do this, the scenario feels a little more believable, a little more like, yes, this will be my life. I can sense it. Prayer or spiritual trust. If you have a spiritual or religious practice, you can incorporate your faith in wealth into it. Some people like to pray to a higher power to guide them to prosperity or to bless their endeavors. For example, one might pray, "God, universe, I am thankful for the prosperity that is mine. I trust you are leading me to the right opportunities and that my needs are always met." This can be deeply comforting as it places some of the burden of figuring everything out into the hands of the divine and strengthens your sense that you are supported by forces larger than yourself. Acting as if. This means behaving and making choices in line with the success you are moving toward, even before it's tangibly here. For instance, if you had complete faith that you were becoming financially secure, how might you deal with your money today? Maybe you would finally create a budget, trusting it will help you manage the more money that's coming. Or maybe you'd invest in a course to improve your skills, confident it will pay off. Acting as if might also mean carrying yourself with a bit more confidence, perhaps dressing a little sharper or speaking more positively about your future. It's not about being reckless or pretending to be wealthy by overspending. You wouldn't go buy a sports car on credit just because you're visualizing wealth, unless you have a clear plan to afford it. It's about small shifts that signal your belief in your emerging wealthy self. For example, you might treat yourself to a small luxury within your means as a gesture that you expect plenty. These actions, done wisely, reinforce your faith. Now, let's do a short meditative exercise to cement your faith right now. Place your hand on your heart if you like, and close your eyes. Think of a goal you have. maybe a certain amount of money or a specific opportunity, like a new job or a business break. Now, say gently to yourself, I believe this is coming to me. Even if I don't know how, I have faith that the path is opening. I trust that life is on my side. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, let go of any tension or need to control. Feel a warm reassurance in your heart that somehow, some way, what you desire is already coming together. You may even recall past instances where something worked out for you against the odds, times when you were pleasantly surprised by life. Let those memories remind you that good things can and do happen unexpectedly. Why not again? Why not now? Before we move on, acknowledge that building faith is an ongoing practice. Some days you might feel doubt. That's okay. Don't judge yourself for it. Just recognize doubt as a cloud passing through the sky of your mind. You can watch it go by and then choose to focus back on trust. Every time you choose faith over fear, you reinforce a powerful habit. Gradually, you'll notice that worry has less of a grip on you, and a quiet confidence becomes your default. That inner confidence, that calm knowing, is immensely attractive to wealth. Faith is like the light in a lighthouse. It signals your destination through the fog of uncertainty, guiding your own subconscious and the universe at large to bring your ship in. Hold that light steady, and soon you will start to see the outline of your desires on the horizon, coming into reality. Chapter 5, Tuning into Abundance, the Power of Emotions and Vibration. By now, we've talked about thoughts, beliefs, and faith. Equally important in these hidden laws of wealth is the role of your emotions, the energy and motion within you. Emotions are the fuel that powers the law of attraction. They give magnetic charge to your thoughts. Think of it this way. A thought is like a blueprint, but emotion is the electricity that brings the machine to life. To consistently attract wealth, cultivating positive, high vibration emotions is key. What do we mean by high vibration emotions? These are feelings that are uplifting, expansive, and light. Love, gratitude, joy, enthusiasm, optimism, peace. When you are feeling these, not only do you feel good, but you are in a state that tends to draw good experiences. Low vibration emotions like fear, anger, despair, or envy are heavy and contractive. They can block the flow of abundance by anchoring you in a state of lack or resistance. It's not that you must never feel negative emotions. We're all human and they are natural. But the goal is to gently and consistently shift yourself into the higher ranges so that your dominant emotional tone supports your prosperity. One emotion stands out in virtually every wealth teaching: gratitude. Gratitude is often called the great multiplier. When you feel grateful for what you have, even if it's very little right now, you're telling the universe, I appreciate the abundance present and I welcome more. It's like smiling at life, and life can't help but smile back. On a psychological level, gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present and good. This automatically lifts your mood and opens your mind to notice opportunities. As Wallace D. Wattles noted over a century ago, the more gratefully we fix our minds on the supreme when good things come to us, the more good things we will receive. Gratitude literally keeps you connected with the source of abundance. consider starting or ending each day with a moment of thankfulness. You might think of 5 things you're grateful for each morning. It could be as simple as a good cup of coffee, a warm bed, a friend's kindness, or even the lessons learned from yesterday's challenges. By doing so, you prime your emotional state to one of contentment and optimism, which subtly attracts more experiences to be content about. Another powerful high vibration emotion is joy or excitement. Have you noticed that people who are passionate and joyous about their work often end up making a lot of money at it? Their joy is infectious. It attracts support and clients or promotions. If you can find what genuinely brings you joy in work or life and give it a bigger place in your life, you are simultaneously raising your vibration and often aligning with your purpose, and prosperity often follows purpose. Now, it's also important to address the low emotions, because wealth blocks often come from unresolved feelings. For instance, many people carry fear around money, fear of not having enough, fear of losing it, or fear of managing it. This fear, if unexamined, keeps their energy tuned to scarcity. The act of acknowledging and then soothing your fears can free up energy for more positive emotions. One technique is to write down your financial fears and then write a compassionate response to each, as if you were comforting a worried friend. For example, if the fear is, "I will end up old and penniless," you might respond, "I am taking steps each day to secure my future, and I trust that opportunities to grow wealth will continue to appear. I am resourceful, and life has helped me before. It will help me again." This exercise helps to calm the fear and allows more trust and confidence to take its place. Emotional resonance is a phrase that means your life tends to resonate with the emotional music you're playing. If you maintain an undercurrent of frustration and cynicism, your experiences will somehow keep giving you reasons to feel frustrated and cynical, like an echo. Conversely, if you cultivate a baseline of hope, cheerfulness, and generosity, you'll find more and more reasons to sustain those feelings. It's as though you set the tone and life sings harmony to it. Let's do a small experiment in raising vibration right now. Sit comfortably and relax your shoulders. Take a few gentle breaths. Now recall something that naturally makes you feel happy. Perhaps a beloved pet doing something cute, or a funny joke, or a beautiful place in nature you visited. Allow yourself to smile if it comes naturally. Feel the lightness in your chest or the warmth in your face as you dwell on that pleasant memory. That shift you feel, even if slight, is you moving into a higher vibration. Next, think of something that makes you feel truly appreciative. Maybe it's a person who's helped you, or a comfort you enjoy in life, or even your own strength that got you through a hard time. Let a feeling of gratitude well up. You might quietly say, "Thank you for that thing," or just feel the thankfulness radiate from your heart area. Notice how gratitude is a soft, glowing emotion, almost like a gentle golden light inside you. Now take this joy or gratitude and aim it toward your financial life. This might seem odd at first, but imagine sending that good feeling toward your bank account, your job, your business, or however money flows for you. For instance, think of your bank account with gratitude. Yes, even if it's not as full as you want. Be grateful for what it has allowed you to do so far. Pay for a roof over your head, or meals, or schooling, etc. Bless it with the feeling that it will grow, or feel joyful about the idea of earning money. Consider that every dollar you earn is a token of value you offered the world, and you can be proud of that. By associating positive emotions with money and wealth, you are rewriting the emotional script around money. Many of us have had anxiety or sadness tied to money for so long that it becomes habitual. We might tense up when checking bills or feel dread when thinking of finances. Through conscious effort like this, you can gradually pair money thoughts with positive feelings. Think of it like training a vine to grow along a new trellis. At first you have to guide it frequently, but soon it naturally follows the upward structure. Another tool in emotional tuning is music and movement. If you find yourself in a funk about money, consider playing music that lifts your spirit. Maybe even dance or move your body. This may sound unrelated to serious financial matters, but shaking off heavy energy physically can do wonders for your mindset. After a few minutes of moving to a favorite song, you might come back to your task or day with a refreshed outlook, maybe even a new idea on how to solve a problem or make extra income. Creativity flows better when emotions are high and positive. You have the ability to be the DJ of your own frequency. Through practices like meditation, journaling about positive aspects of your life, expressing kindness to others, and engaging in activities that make you laugh, you turn the dial of your vibrational state upward. And remember, it's not about being euphoric 24/7. That's unrealistic. It's about gently tipping the scales so that you spend more time in hope and appreciation than in worry or anger. In terms of wealth, when an opportunity comes, your emotional state can determine whether you act on it or overlook it. A hopeful person sees a chance and thinks, "This could work, I should try," while a pessimistic person might think, "Why bother? It probably won't amount to much." Optimism itself becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy for wealth. One more emotional quality to invite is generosity, which we'll also talk more about in the next chapter on giving. There's a special joy in giving, even small acts of giving, that puts you in an abundant state. When you give, you momentarily feel rich because you had something to give. It could be as simple as buying a friend coffee or donating a few dollars to charity. That feeling of "I have enough to share" is powerful. It contradicts lack and reinforces "I live in abundance." And emotionally, it just feels good to contribute to others' happiness, which again raises your vibration. To conclude this chapter, know that your emotional state is one of your greatest attractors. It is like the background music of your life that others and the universe hear and respond to. By consciously tending to your feelings and seeking to uplift them, you aren't just being positive for the sake of it. You are actively creating a magnetic field around you that draws in wealth and circumstances that match the good vibes you are cultivating. So, laugh often, appreciate eagerly, and nurture that inner glow. It will light the way to the prosperity you seek. Chapter 6: Self-Worth and Identity. Becoming the person who has wealth. A crucial yet often overlooked law of wealth is that your level of prosperity will rarely exceed your level of self-worth. In other words, we cannot consistently experience wealth that we don't deep down feel worthy of. If we somehow do come into a fortune while holding a poor self-image, we might sabotage it or feel miserable despite it. Conversely, when we truly value ourselves and see ourselves as naturally wealthy, in mindset or abilities, we tend to create and sustain wealth more easily. This is about your identity, the way you define who you are. If you have always identified as the one who struggles, or just a mediocre earner, or not a business-minded person, those identities become self-fulfilling. They form the parameters of what you allow yourself to do and have. But here's the empowering part. Identity is flexible. You can redefine yourself at any time. You can decide to identify as someone who attracts money, or an excellent steward of wealth, or a successful entrepreneur, even before the external proof is fully there. In fact, adopting the identity comes first. The evidence follows. Think about someone who goes from being overweight to fit. If they only see themselves as an overweight person trying to force themselves to diet, the journey is painful and often unsuccessful because internally they still identify with the old self. But if they start to visualize and claim, "I am becoming an athletic, healthy person," and they truly start to feel that identity even before the body is fully changed, their behaviors align more naturally with the fit lifestyle, and the results follow. Similarly, with money, you start by shifting how you see yourself in relation to wealth. One of Florence Scovel Shinn's empowering affirmations was, "I am an irresistible magnet for all that belongs to me by divine right." Consider what that says about identity. It implies that prosperity is your natural birthright, something that belongs to you, and you as a person have a magnetic quality that draws it in. Saying this affirmation isn't just about pulling money in, it's about changing how you perceive yourself, from someone who chases or lacks to someone who naturally attracts and deserves. Now, self-worth in a practical sense also means what you believe you have to offer and how you expect to be treated. If a person doesn't value their skills or contributions, they might undercharge for their services or never ask for the raise they deserve. Their outward financial situation then mirrors that inner discounting of self. On the other hand, a person who knows the value they bring will confidently seek commensurate rewards and usually get them. It starts inside with the thought, "I provide great value and I am worthy of great reward." It might be helpful to gently look at any feelings of unworthiness or inadequacy that you carry and realize those are learned feelings, not absolute truths. Sometimes past failures or criticisms leave a residue that makes us feel not good enough or not cut out for success. But remember, the past does not define you. It informs you. You can take the lessons and let the rest go. Every day is a chance to start seeing yourself in a new light. Let's try a reflective exercise to connect with a wealthy self-image. Close your eyes and imagine that somewhere in the future exists a version of you who is living your dream prosperous life like we visualized earlier in the clarity chapter. Now bring your focus not to what that life has, but to how that future you behaves and feels. How does wealthy you carry themselves? Perhaps with a relaxed confidence, an easy smile, shoulders back, heart open. How does wealthy you dress? It doesn't have to be fancy, but maybe neat with care and pride in appearance. How does wealthy you speak? Likely with assurance and positivity. Importantly, how does wealthy you treat others? Perhaps with more generosity Because you feel abundant, you freely give encouragement or help to those around you. Now imagine you can step into that version of yourself like stepping into a comfortable set of clothes. Feel what it's like to be that you. In this moment, it's not about the external stuff, it's about the inner state. Wealthy, you perhaps feel secure, expansive, grateful, and worthy. Maybe wealthy you wakes up in the morning thinking, I wonder what wonderful opportunities I'll create today, instead of, oh no, not another day of struggle. Try on that mindset. It might feel a bit foreign if you've habitually felt the opposite, but see if you can let some of it in. I am worthy of great success. I am capable. I am even destined for it as I align with these laws. As you merge with this vision of yourself, you might notice a subtle shift, perhaps standing a little taller or feeling warmth in your chest. That is the power of identity. Even just imagining a more empowered identity begins to shift your present reality, because you start making different micro-choices from that state. For example, wealthy you might handle an unexpected bill with calm, trusting that more money is coming, whereas the old you might panic. So even today, when something financial comes up, ask, how would the confident, wealthy version of me handle this? And try that approach. Bit by bit, you'll be training yourself into that new identity. It can also help to remove language that reinforces a poor identity. Catch phrases like, I'm broke, or I can't afford that, or I'm bad with money. These might feel true in the moment, but every time you say them, you reinforce that identity. Try reframing. Instead of, I can't afford it, maybe I choose not to buy that right now, which implies you are in control, making a choice. Instead of, I'm bad with money, you could say, I'm learning to manage money better, which keeps your identity open to growth. Sometimes, self-worth is also tied to what we think we deserve. You might consciously want wealth, but a part of you might whisper, do I really deserve it? Others need it more. Or, will people judge me if I become rich? These internal conflicts can create a ceiling for how far you let yourself go. It's important to resolve this by understanding that your wealth does not take away from anyone else's. In fact, if you earn or create wealth in positive ways, you are likely adding value to the world and can help others more. And people who truly care for you want to see you thrive. Those who would judge you for succeeding are perhaps dealing with their own limitations. You can send them love from afar, but don't let that stop you. A helpful affirmation here is, I fully approve of myself and my right to be wealthy. It might feel odd to say you approve of yourself, but lack of self-approval is at the heart of feeling undeserving. Try saying it mentally. I approve of myself. I give myself permission to prosper. See if any resistance comes up. If it does, it's okay. That's just an old voice. Counter it gently. Everyone is deserving of a full, abundant life, and that includes me. Now, self-worth also translates into practical action. For instance, someone who respects themselves and their money might keep their wallet organized. Pay attention to their finances instead of avoiding them, and make choices that reflect care rather than chaos. So, a simple practice. Tidy up one small area related to your money. Maybe organize your purse or wallet, or clean up a corner of your desk where you handle bills. This sends a signal that you value yourself and your money enough to create order and beauty around it. It's like how you'd treat a precious item. You handle it with care. You and your financial life are precious and merit that care. Another aspect of identity is boundaries and saying no. A person with healthy self-worth is not afraid to say no to things that devalue them or squander their energy. Perhaps you've been giving a lot of unpaid labor or letting others always take advantage of your time in ways that hinder your own progress. Stepping into a wealthier identity might mean kindly setting boundaries which could free up time and energy for your own growth or pursuits that can increase your wealth. In relationships, if you ever notice someone treating you in a way that diminishes your sense of worth, the wealthier version of you might calmly assert yourself or even distance from that negativity. These things matter because everything that impacts your self-esteem can indirectly impact your wealth, since you might dull your shine or play small when you feel low. In summary, give yourself permission to embody the traits of the successful, abundant you right now on the inside. You do not have to wait for the money to show up to start feeling and acting abundant. In fact, flip that. Start feeling and acting abundant to invite the money. This is one of the great secrets. It's what all those masters like Neville Goddard meant when they said to live in the end state now, to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Spend a few moments each day visualizing and, more importantly, feeling as that prosperous self. Speak kindly to yourself. Value your time and skills, and expect respect and reward in return, not from arrogance, but from healthy self-love and confidence. You are inherently worthy. Nothing you achieve or fail at can add or subtract from that fundamental truth. When you fully embrace that truth, you become unstoppable. You'll find that money, opportunities, and helpful people naturally gravitate to someone who carries themselves with the quiet radiance of self-worth. Chapter 7. Inspired Action, Aligning with Opportunity. Up to now, many of the laws we've discussed are internal: thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and identity. These form the essential foundation. However, another hidden law of wealth is that action is often required to bring what's inside to fruition in the outside world. But not just any action, inspired action. This is the kind of action that feels intuitive, natural, and guided rather than forced or frantic. It's important to clarify. The principles of attraction and energy aren't about just sitting on the couch and waiting for money to drop in your lap. Instead, they transform you internally so that when you act, your actions are incredibly effective and well-timed. You still do, but you do with flow, not struggle. What is inspired action exactly? It's when you get a nudge, a gut feeling, or a spark of an idea that feels exciting or meaningful, and you follow it. It might be as simple as feeling the urge to reach out to an old acquaintance, and that person turns out to have a business lead for you, or a random idea to create something, and that becomes a product you sell, or a sudden interest in learning a skill which later opens a career door. These impulses often come from the subconscious or the higher self, however you prefer to view it, that we've been priming through all the practices above. When you cultivate clarity, faith, and positivity, you start receiving little internal signals, signs of the opportunities aligning around you. Your only job then is to act on them. A famous motivational speaker, Dr. Wayne Dyer, said, "Don't die with your music still in you." It implies we each have unique contributions and passions that we're meant to express. Often those passions are keys to our prosperity. If you've been getting a persistent idea like, "I should write that book," or "I should ask for a raise," or "I want to start an organic soap business," pay attention. That could be your intuition or the universe, whispering the direction of your wealth. Contrast inspired action with the idea of hustle culture, which says do, exhaust yourself to succeed. Many people work very hard physically but make little progress because their actions aren't aligned with a real inner drive or the currents of opportunity. It's like rowing upstream. Inspired action, on the other hand, is like putting up a sail when the wind is blowing in your favor. It doesn't mean you won't sometimes put in long hours or effort, but it feels worthwhile and at times even effortless, because you're in sync with your purpose and the timing. Let's use an analogy. Imagine you're a surfer. You can paddle furiously and tire yourself out trying to catch waves that aren't really there. That's unaligned effort. Or you can watch the ocean, sense when a great wave is coming, position yourself, and then ride it with exhilaration. That's inspired action. You still have to paddle a bit to catch the wave, but you're working with the natural force, not against it. To cultivate inspired action, two things help: listening and courage. Listening means making space to hear those intuitive nudges. This could be through meditation, journaling, or simply quiet moments in your day where you ask, "What step feels right for me to take next?" and see what comes. The answer might not come immediately in that moment, but soon after you'll likely get an idea or an opportunity will present itself. Courage comes in to actually move your feet. Sometimes an inspired idea might also scare us a little because it often leads us out of our comfort zone. For example, you might feel inspired to apply for a job that seems a bit beyond your current qualifications. That's when doubt tries to kill the inspiration. But if the idea really lights you up, consider that a sign that you should go for it. It's better to act and learn than to ignore the call and later wonder, what if? Here's a small but powerful practice. When you wake up in the morning, after expressing gratitude for a new day, ask yourself, or if you believe in a higher power, ask that higher guidance, what is one thing I can do today that will move me toward greater wealth or fulfillment? It could be a very tangible thing like send out 2 resumes or email that potential client. Or it could be something like go to that networking event tonight, or even spend an hour working on that business idea I had. Sometimes it might even say, rest today and recharge, which in the bigger picture helps you be more effective later. The more you ask and listen, the more you'll get in tune with your inner guidance system. Now, inspired action also often involves acting on opportunities that come your way. As you align with these laws, don't be surprised if suddenly an email comes or a friend calls with something that could be beneficial. In those moments, recall that you've set these intentions and likely attracted this. So even if it's not what you expected, evaluate it with an open mind. Is this something that could lead to abundance? If yes, maybe that's a door opening. Walk through it. I recall a story of a man who was struggling in his career and finances. He started to practice positive thinking and visualizing a better job. Out of the blue, a former colleague invited him to a casual gathering. Initially, the man thought, "I'm too tired to go," but a little voice nudged him to say yes. At the gathering, he met someone who mentioned a job opening. It turned out to be exactly the kind of position he was looking for, which he then pursued and landed. That gathering was the universe handing him a thread, and he pulled on it by taking action. In your life, these threads might appear as what some call synchronicities, meaningful coincidences. The more aligned you are, the more they seem to happen. When they do, acknowledge them and take action. It's like a treasure hunt where each clue leads you closer to the prize. Another aspect is persistence versus forcing. Inspired action might still require persistence. You may need to practice your craft or try multiple times. But there's a difference between persistence, a steady, hopeful effort, and forcing, anxiously trying to control every detail. Always check in. Are my actions feeling connected and hopeful, or desperate and panicky? If it's the latter, step back, breathe, and perhaps take a short break to recalibrate your energy before continuing. It's also okay to make mistakes or face detours. Not every action, even inspired ones, will yield immediate success. Sometimes an action leads to a lesson or a new direction you hadn't considered. Trust that this is part of the process. For instance, maybe you launch an online store with inspired excitement, but it doesn't get many sales right away. Instead of seeing it as failure, you might learn that the marketing approach needs tweaking, or that customers are interested in a different product you can offer. That learning is valuable, and trying again with adjustments is also inspired action. The law here is the universe moves with those who move. When you demonstrate your commitment through action, you often find that support, guidance, and resources begin to show up, almost as if by magic. It's like you lighting a small spark and then larger forces come to fan it into a flame. If you ever feel stuck not knowing what action to take, do something small to break the inertia. Clean your desk, make a list of ideas, take a walk to clear your head. Sometimes just by moving in any positive direction, the next steps become clear. Clarity often comes through engagement, not just contemplation. Remember, you are co-creating with life. You handle the doable steps, and life will handle the rest, often arranging things you couldn't have orchestrated by sheer effort anyway. So, do your part, and have faith that your part combined with a bit of serendipity will lead you where you need to go. Ask yourself, what bold or inspired action have I been postponing? Is there a phone call, an email, a project, or a change that I feel drawn to but haven't acted on yet? Decide to take a step on that, even a tiny one. The momentum of one step often leads to another. In this chapter, know that taking inspired action is you saying yes to your own success. It's you demonstrating that you are ready to receive. When life sees you acting ready, it often responds in kind. So ride those waves of inspiration when they come. They may carry you faster and farther toward wealth than you could imagine. Chapter 8. Surrender and Trust. The divine timing of wealth. We've set our intentions, nurtured belief and positive emotions, and taken action. Now we arrive at a perhaps paradoxical but crucial law, the art of surrender. This doesn't mean giving up on your goals. It means releasing your tight hold on how and when exactly they must happen. It means trusting that once you've done what you can, there are currents of grace that will carry your desire to fruition in the right way and at the right time. Think of planting a seed. You prepare the soil, plant it, water it, and ensure it gets sunlight. But after that, you must exercise patience. You don't dig it up every day to check if it's sprouting, nor do you yell at it to grow faster. There is an innate timing and intelligence to its growth that you trust. Similarly, after you've planted seeds through your intentions and actions, trust that the universe or life is doing its part to germinate those seeds. This can be one of the hardest laws to practice, especially in a world that promotes constant control and instant gratification. Yet, surrendering is often the key that finally unlocks what we want. Many people have experienced striving desperately for a goal and hitting wall after wall until one day they say, "You know what? I'm going to just let this be. I'll be okay even if it doesn't happen." And oddly enough, shortly after letting go, what they wanted arrives. This is common in stories of people struggling with finances or even trying to manifest love. The moment they find some inner release or detachment, the floodgates open. Why is that? When we cling too tightly or obsess over a particular outcome, we often introduce fear and resistance into the process. Our energy of desperation can actually repel what we seek or blind us to alternative paths. It's like holding sand. Squeeze too hard and it slips through your fingers, but hold gently and you can carry it. There is a wisdom in life's timing. Sometimes delays happen not to deny us, but to prepare us or to allow better conditions. Perhaps you're ready for a higher paying position, but the perfect role that matches your talents won't be open until next month. If you push somewhere else right now out of panic, you might take a job that isn't right and miss the great one. If you trust and wait a bit while staying alert, you align with the better opportunity. This is where the concept of divine timing comes in. Divine timing suggests that events unfold when the conditions, including your readiness, are optimal. It doesn't mean doing nothing and waiting forever. It means after doing what you can, you leave the rest to the wisdom of the universe's schedule. The story of Captain Leon and the storm from earlier is a good illustration. He wanted to reach a certain port by a certain time to make a profit. When the storm blew him off course, at first he was frustrated. It seemed like a disaster that his plan was ruined. But that very detour led him to an island rich in trade opportunities that brought him even more wealth than his original plan. The storm was, in effect, divine intervention, because Leon eventually surrendered to what he couldn't control, the weather and being off map. He was able to see and take advantage of the blessing in disguise that appeared. If he had kept fighting the storm stubbornly, who knows, he might have sunk the ship or missed the island entirely. In our lives, a storm could be an unexpected expense, a job loss, a deal falling through. In the moment, it feels like everything is going wrong, but later, many people recount that those moments led to something crucial, a better job, a new path, a lesson that saved them from bigger trouble, meeting someone important, etc. There's a quote from Florence Scovel Shinn: Everything may seem to be going wrong, when in reality, it is going right. Asquotes.com. Surrendering to that possibility allows you to flow with events rather than exhausting yourself resisting them. So, how do we practice surrender and trust while still being proactive? One technique is the "this or something better" mindset. When you set a goal or desire, quietly add, "I trust that I will receive this or something even better in the perfect time and way." This keeps you open. For example, you might think, "I want to earn X amount by the end of this year," but rather than being rigid, you say, "I welcome earning at least X or more, and I'm open to the form it comes in for the highest good." Then you do your part and let life fill in the details. Another helpful practice is regularly releasing attachment. After you visualize or affirm your goals, take a moment to say, "I release this intention to the universe. I trust that it's being handled. I let go of any worry about it." You can visualize placing your goal in a balloon and letting it float up to the sky, symbolically handing it over to the divine. Breathwork can assist in surrender too. A simple one: inhale deeply, gathering any tension or obsessiveness you feel, and then exhale with a whoosh, imagining all clinging and worry leaving your body. Sometimes I even imagine I'm exhaling little hooks that were caught on my goal, pulling them out so the goal is free to manifest without my anxious gripping. Surrender doesn't mean being idle, it means being in a state of peaceful expectation. You still expect you're good, but you're not fretting over it. Think of ordering something online. After you place the order, you expect it will arrive in due time. You don't normally keep checking the website every 5 minutes or doubt that it's on its way. Treat your manifestation similarly. You've placed your order with the Cosmic Kitchen, now you'll do other things while it's being prepared. Trust is closely tied to surrender. It's like the soil in which surrender takes root. Strengthen your trust in life by recalling instances where things worked out well, especially times you hadn't expected them to. Perhaps a surprise help came when you needed it, or you ended up somewhere great through a happy coincidence. Write these down if you like. They form your personal evidence bank that the universe has my back. Also, trust in yourself that you can handle whatever happens. Sometimes we don't surrender because we fear that if things don't go our way, we won't cope. But remind yourself of your resilience. You've made it through tough times before. You will again, and likely you'll thrive. An interesting paradox is that when you truly let go, you often feel a quick sense of relief or lightness. That is the feeling of resistance releasing. And often right after that, movement happens. Many have experienced finishing a diligent job search and deciding, "All right, I've done enough for now. I'm going to relax this weekend and not think about it." And then that very weekend getting an unexpected call for an interview. It's almost as if life was waiting for them to chill out so it could deliver. Surrender also means not micromanaging the route. Your intention might come through a channel you didn't anticipate. Maybe you thought the money would come from your job, but it comes from an investment or a gift. Maybe you pictured achieving success in one field, but another opens up that's even more suited to you. Be willing to follow the flow. If you're too fixated on one door, you might not see another door opening right next to it. Another point: surrender control of others' free will. For instance, if your financial plan depends on a specific person's actions, like a particular client saying yes to a deal, you can't force that. Focus instead on the essence, getting a great client, and allow that specific person the freedom. They may say no, but someone else could say yes. Don't get hung up on one particular individual or avenue. Let's do a short trust meditation. Close your eyes and imagine that you are floating on a calm river in a small boat. You have a destination in mind downstream, your goal. You've set your course and the current of the river is carrying you. Feel the gentle rocking of the boat as you lie back and look at the sky. The sun is shining and you feel safe. You dip your hand in the water. The current is steady and sure. You might use an oar now and then to steer away from a rock or guide toward the center of the stream, but you're not having to row constantly. The river knows the way. Surrender in life is like that, trusting the flow after you've set your intention. If you find worry creeping in, which is like suddenly grabbing the oars in panic, take a deep breath and remind yourself, life is on my side. Things are working out for me, even when I don't see it yet. Use whatever words resonate. Everything is unfolding in perfect timing. I have faith in the process. These affirmations of trust can instantly ease the mind. One more benefit of surrender, it keeps you present. Often, our stress about goals takes us out of the here and now. We become so future-focused or stuck on past outcomes that we miss the beauty and opportunities of the present moment. By trusting and letting go of overthinking the future, you can fully engage with today, and ironically, that presence might present the very breakthrough you were agonizing about. As we embrace surrender and trust, we create space. It's in that space that magic and grace can enter. We stop blocking the door with our worry and instead open the door and invite blessings to come in at their own pace. So, reflect. Where can you loosen your grip a little? What outcome are you holding on to so tightly that it's causing you stress? Breathe, and on your next exhale, imagine releasing it to the care of the universe. You can even say, I surrender this situation. I trust the highest and best is coming of it. Feel the relief as you do this. That relief is you stepping into alignment with the flow of life, which always seeks to carry you to your highest good. Chapter 9, Gratitude and Generosity, Keeping the Flow Circulating. We touched on gratitude in the emotions chapter, but it's such a cornerstone of lasting wealth that it deserves full exploration alongside its natural partner, generosity. Together, these qualities ensure that once you start the flow of wealth, it continues and grows rather than stagnating or disappearing. Imagine wealth as a circulating current. Money is meant to move. It comes in and it goes out, often multiplying as it circulates. When you hoard money fearfully or begrudgingly spend it, the current slows. But when you circulate it with joy and wisdom, you become part of an abundant exchange that benefits you and others. Gratitude and generosity are attitudes that keep you in harmonious flow with that current. First, gratitude. When money or opportunities come, even in small ways, acknowledge them with thanks. Got a discount unexpectedly, found $1 on the ground, received your paycheck. Say, thank you. This might be thanking the universe, thanking God, or just a general feeling of appreciation. By doing so, you're effectively telling life, I value this, I welcome more. It's like watering a plant. Gratitude is the water that nourishes the seeds of prosperity. It's also important to be grateful for what you already have before more arrives. Think of wealth as a guest. If you make the guest, money, feel appreciated, it tends to stick around and even invite friends, more money. If you treat it poorly or constantly complain about it, this is not enough. It doesn't feel welcome. This is a metaphor, but it rings true emotionally. If someone kept complaining about the gift you gave them, you'd feel less inclined to give again. But if they cherish even a small gift, you might want to give more. One exercise is a gratitude list specifically for finances. List things like, I am grateful I paid my rent this month. I am grateful for the food in my fridge which money helped me buy. I am grateful for the education skills I have that allow me to earn. I am grateful for the kindness of that client. I am grateful for the chair I sit on while I work, which was purchased with money. This shifts your focus to how money already supports you daily. It transforms money from a source of stress into a friend and helper. Now, generosity. This is the act of giving, which ensures you are not clogging the flow by only taking. There's a universal principle that the more you give from a genuine place, the more comes back to you. It might not come from where you gave. Often it returns through other channels, sometimes multiplied. Generosity proves to yourself that you trust the abundance of life. You trust that by helping others or sharing, you won't end up with less, because the supply is endless and will return to you in kind. Generosity doesn't mean being irresponsible or letting others exploit you. It means consciously choosing to share within your means to spread good. It could be donating a portion of your income to causes you care about, or as simple as treating a friend to lunch or giving your time and knowledge to someone who can benefit. You might start small. Even giving $5 or $10 to charity when you feel tight on money can be a powerful statement. I am not in lack, I always have enough to give. And that tends to become true. There's a wonderful affirmation from Shin's teachings. I send forth my money with joy, and it returns to me multiplied under grace. When you pay a bill, instead of grumbling, try saying, I'm grateful I can pay this, and I bless this money as it goes out to bring good to someone else's life, knowing it will return to me in some form. It might feel advanced, blessing a bill, but it truly shifts your relationship with money to a positive cycle. Let's try that mentally. Think of a financial obligation or upcoming expense that usually triggers stress. Now imagine writing the check or making the payment, and as you do, say, thank you for what this provides. Electricity, a roof, a service. I release this money with love into the economy, and I trust it will come back to me in some way. Notice how different that feels than the usual, ugh, there goes my money. You move from contraction to expansion. It's also crucial to be generous with yourself. Some people can give to others but not to themselves, which is another imbalance. Treat yourself occasionally in a way that makes you feel rich. It doesn't have to be expensive. Maybe a nice coffee or a new book, or simply a leisurely afternoon off. If you never allow yourself any enjoyment from your money, you start to resent earning it or keeping it. Generosity must include self-care. There's an old concept of tithing, giving 10% of your income away to spiritual or charitable causes. Not everyone does this, but those who practice it often say it increases their prosperity. Why? Probably because it cements an abundance mindset. I always have enough to give, and aligns with the law of sowing and reaping. When you sow seeds, your gift into the world, a harvest returns later. That said, the percentage or method is personal. What matters is the spirit of giving. One caution: giving out of guilt or obligation doesn't carry the same uplifting vibration. It should be giving that feels joyful, like a free offering, not coerced. If someone pressures you to give beyond your comfort, it's okay to say no. True generosity comes from the heart, not from external compulsion. Now consider receiving graciously as part of this flow. Generosity isn't just about you giving, it's also about letting others be generous to you without feeling ashamed or unworthy. If someone gifts you something or goes out of their way to help, accept it with gratitude, and without immediately insisting you must repay them or saying, "Oh, you shouldn't have." Receiving well is actually a form of generosity too. You're giving the other person the gift of giving to you, if that makes sense. In a wealthy mindset, you understand that we're all supporting each other in a grand exchange. Sometimes you'll be on the giving side, sometimes on the receiving side. Both are valuable and keep the cycle going. Money itself is exchanged constantly between people. By participating in the exchange with positive energy, you align with abundance. Let's do a brief heart centering for gratitude and generosity. Close your eyes and place a hand on your heart. Breathe into your heart space. Now think of something or someone you are deeply grateful for right now. As you inhale, feel that gratitude warm your heart. As you exhale, imagine sending a beam of thanks outward like a gentle wave. Now think of someone or a cause you'd like to help. It could be a friend going through a rough time or a community need you're aware of. Visualize blessing them with love, light, and, if appropriate, imagine yourself giving them something helpful: money, food, time, a hug, etc. See them receiving it and being uplifted. Notice how giving in this visualization doesn't diminish you. In fact, it enlarges your spirit. Finally, picture some good coming back to you. Maybe someone handing you a check or offering you a great opportunity. And practice feeling grateful and happy accepting it. Let any old guilt or "I don't deserve this" be replaced by a sincere "Thank you, I receive this fully." When you open your eyes, you might feel a sense of connectedness. That's the circulation in action. A prosperous life is not isolated. It's deeply interwoven with others. Gratitude keeps you aware of those threads of connection, and generosity keeps those threads strong and vibrant. Together, they ensure that not only do you gain wealth, but you enjoy it and use it in meaningful ways, which is ultimately what makes wealth truly worthwhile. Remember, what you appreciates in value, and what you give comes back multiplied. By living this truth, you turn wealth into a continuous, enriching dance rather than a one-time win or loss. Each day becomes an opportunity to both acknowledge your blessings and be a blessing. This is the hallmark of sustainable prosperity. Chapter 10: Embracing Abundance, Living the Hidden Laws of Wealth. As we come to the end of our journey through the hidden laws of wealth, take a moment to recognize how far you've come in understanding the energetic and psychological foundations of prosperity. You've delved into seeing wealth as energy, reshaped limiting beliefs, ignited clear intentions, cultivated faith, raised your vibration, embraced a wealthy identity, taken inspired action, learned to surrender, and practiced gratitude and generosity. These are profound shifts. The true reward of this journey is not just the money or success you will attract, it's the person you become in the process, more peaceful, confident, joyful, and free. When money finds you easily, it's often because you've grown into someone who isn't afraid of money, who respects it without fearing it, and who uses it as a tool for good. Now, how do we integrate all these principles so they become a natural part of daily life? The key is consistent, gentle practice. Much like tending a garden, you will nurture these qualities day by day. Some days you might focus more on one area, other days on another. Trust your intuition on what is needed in the moment. Maybe one morning you wake up feeling doubt. That's a good time to revisit affirmations of faith and recall your past successes. Perhaps you receive some money. That's a moment to pause and give thanks. Maybe even set aside a bit to give away. If a challenge arises, like an unexpected bill, instead of falling back into panic, you now have tools. Breathe, affirm abundance, look for the hidden opportunity or lesson, and act from a place of trust rather than fear. It's also helpful to surround yourself with positive influences. Continue reading or listening to inspiring material, like this audiobook or other authors we've mentioned, to reinforce these concepts. Sometimes the world around us, whether news or negative people, can pull at our mindset. Counteract that by feeding your mind regularly with uplifting content that aligns with your new perspective. Another practical tip: write down your top takeaways from this journey and keep them somewhere visible. It might be a short list like, everything is energy. I tune to the frequency of abundance, remembering Tesla's insight that energy, frequency, and vibration underlie reality. My thoughts and beliefs shape my wealth. I choose empowering ones, echoing Napoleon Hill's idea that what the mind can believe, it can achieve. I am worthy of prosperity and see myself as someone who attracts money. Florence Shin's principle that you can only receive what you envision for yourself. I take inspired actions and trust the process. Knowing the universe conspires when we move with intention and faith. I live in gratitude and give with joy. Wattle's advice that daily gratitude is a conduit for wealth, and Proctor's wisdom to see yourself living in abundance. Reading such a list often can center you if you ever feel off balance. Let's talk about outcome. As you genuinely apply these laws, you will start to notice tangible changes. You might find money coming in from new sources, clear debts faster than expected, or opportunities popping up serendipitously. Celebrate these wins, no matter how small. Acknowledge them as evidence that your alignment is working. This isn't just positive thinking. You should see real-world validation. If you haven't yet, don't worry. Sometimes a little patience is needed for seeds to sprout. Keep doing the inner and outer work and stay alert to receive. Remember that wealth isn't just dollars. You may also notice richness in other forms increasing. Richer relationships, richer ideas, improved health. As stress diminishes and joy increases, your body benefits too. often, a holistic abundance starts to unfold. Embrace it all, because true wealth encompasses well-being on many levels. One valuable practice is a nightly reflection. Before bed, mentally review your day. For moments you applied these principles. Maybe you stopped a negative thought and replaced it with a positive one. Great! Maybe you bravely followed a hunch. Excellent! Perhaps you helped someone or expressed gratitude. Each of these is like a pearl. String them together, and you've had a wealthy day regardless of what the bank balance says in that exact moment. And those pearls will inevitably translate into external prosperity. As you go forward, also give yourself grace. No journey is perfect. You might have days where old habits resurface or you react poorly to something. Don't criticize yourself. Instead, observe it. Learn from it. I got really scared when that unexpected expense came. Next time, I'll remember to breathe and trust. And get back on track. The beauty of these laws is they are forgiving and always available. The sun is always shining behind the clouds of our doubt. We just have to remember to look. A powerful way to conclude this internal transformation is a short declaration of your new reality. Speak it or write it out as an affirmation of the life you are now stepping into. For example, I now fully embrace the flow of abundance in my life. I understand and live by the hidden laws of wealth. I keep my thoughts uplifted, my emotions aligned with gratitude and joy, and my actions inspired and intentional. Money comes to me easily and frequently from expected and unexpected sources as I provide value to the world. I deserve and welcome this prosperity. I use it wisely and generously. I trust the timing of my success and remain peaceful and confident. I am connected to the infinite abundance of the universe, and it is manifesting in wonderful ways each day. I am thankful for the wealth I have and excited for the wealth that's on its way. I am living in harmony with abundance, and it is my natural state. Feel the power of those words. They are true to the extent that you believe and embody them. Finally, envision one more time the life you set out to create. See yourself, perhaps a year or two from now, living comfortably or even lavishly as you desired, free from the old worries that used to plague you. Notice how normal and natural it feels in that vision, because it aligns with who you've become. Maybe you're smiling, remembering when you first listened to this audiobook, and now here you are. Perhaps you're even sharing these principles with a friend who's struggling, acting as a mentor to them. The knowledge has come full circle. Thank yourself for investing in your growth. Self-improvement is a form of self-love. By improving your own life, you also improve the world, because a prosperous you can contribute more, worry less, and shine as an example of what's possible. As you drift off to sleep or go about your day after this, carry this calm, confident energy with you. You have unlocked something inside, a secret door to abundance that was always there. Now that it's open, keep walking through it. We'll conclude with a peaceful affirmation, like a lullaby for your subconscious. I am abundant. I am safe. I am provided for. Money finds me easily because I am aligned with the highest good. I release any remaining fear and rest in the certainty that all is well and all is becoming better. I am grateful. I am generous. I am rich in every way. May you continue to grow in wealth and wisdom and may money indeed find you effortlessly as you live these hidden laws of wealth. Your journey to abundance has already begun, and every step you take is guided, supported, and blessed. Sweet dreams and bright tomorrows on your prosperous path.